You're listening to the Hey Sis podcast. This is a space for millennial women to breathe and then go out into the world and lead. Now, here's your host, Dr. D. Evans.
Thank you for listening to the Hey Sis podcast. I am your host, Dr. D. And today's episode is going to focus on this exact topic. What happens when you're the trigger? We're in cancel culture. Everybody's triggered by something. You can say boo too loudly, and I feel like you can be sued. We're in a ultra sensitive culture. Everybody's offended. Everybody wants to be heard. And that hypersensitivity has really manifested some emotional issues that a lot of women have with each other and within themselves. A trigger is more than feeling uncomfortable. Triggers are usually connected to a traumatic event. Like, I think I am Detective Evans when I watch Law and Order SVU. I feel like Detective Benson and I are friends. Detective Tutuola and I know each other. I'm really rooting for Benson and Stabler. It's been too long, right? And I feel like when I watch that show, these actors do a really good job at portraying triggers. Triggers are rape victims. And if you've been watching it all 39 seasons, you can see how you can pretty much predict who raped who and what happened based on the triggers. And there was one particular episode I was watching, and the girl heard her name said a certain way in the lineup, and she immediately knew it was her rapist, and she just flipped out. I mean, they had to just pin her down. It was an older episode back when Benson had short hair. And I'm reminded of that when I talk about triggers, because a trigger is something that can take you back to the place that the traumatic event happened. So when a person's triggered that's had a traumatic event, of course, they may go into eating disorders or anxiety, anything to soothe the pain. And again, to give you a more textbook definition, a trigger is really anything that prompts an increase or manifestation of a symptom relating to like PTSD. Like, for example, a person recovering from like substance abuse disorder may be triggered by seeing drugs. Okay? If I'm a crackhead and I see crack, I'ma do some strange for a piece of change. I'm just saying. So that experience of being triggered can produce a relapse, right? And so some symptoms of, I'm just giving you a basic overview of triggers. Some symptoms of triggers are anger, anxiety, feeling overwhelmed, vulnerable, feelings of abandonment, loss of control, sadness, pain, memories. Sometimes your whole body start doing stuff, loneliness. These are all internal triggers that can happen when you are put in a place where you're reminded of something that happened to you that you don't particularly like. Now, a person that is living with a traumatic experience can be triggered by, anything, a movie, a television show, arguing with a friend, a specific time of day, smells, anything. Anybody can be triggered by anything at any given time if they've been through a traumatic experience. Ladies, I can't speak for men. I'm going to speak for us. I think our lives are traumatic. I go through a traumatic experience every 28 days. Listen, let me be clear about that. I'm a survivor, okay? But we do go through a lot in our lives that we shake off as this is just the life of a woman. This is just how it goes. A lot of us have seen our parents, our mothers in particular, work without acknowledgement. Work 9 to 5s, come home, make the plates, clean up, do this, do that, answer everybody's phone calls, pray, be present, and not take any time for herself. And maybe if that's you and you've seen your mom in that role, you probably said to yourself, either it's one or two extremes. You want to be just like her, or you'd want to be the antithesis of her, right? And so you get in a relationship with this really nice man, and he wants you to be Like your mama. He wants you to have a job and come home, fix his plate, all the kids' plate, listen to him talk, listen to your kids talk, take no time for yourself and do it all over again. And guess what may happen? You may become triggered. And how could you manifest that trigger? Through anger, through being mean to your children, by lashing out at other women that you feel like have the marriage or the freedom that you wish you had. Right? See how I just broke all that down? I said all that to say to you, I'm here in this episode for high achieving women who are the trigger to other women. I know we talk a lot about how to heal, inner healing, deliverance, uncovering pain and trauma. But a lot of you that listen are high achieving women. You have great jobs. You have great families. You're opulent. You are blessed. And you worked hard for it, okay? You've broken out of that imposter syndrome. You don't walk in false humility. But guess what? That success has caused you to be a trigger to somebody somewhere. Most of the time, it's with the people that you've known the longest. And it's difficult being a woman who's had to climb through social norms. For us women of color, getting over this angry black woman stereotype. And even in certain settings, professionally and corporately, it is amazing to me how many white women really believe they are superior. And when they are put in positions to where they feel inferior, aka they're triggered, because, it's traumatic being regular, right? Because it triggers linked to a traumatic, experience. It's amazing to me the things that they do. I will never underestimate the depths of a triggered person. Because envy be like, ooh, pick me. And it goes and lives in them, and it can wreak havoc on your whole life if you're not strong. So today's episode, I want to speak to the women who have worked so hard. Baby, you got your degree. Baby, you got your car. You got your house. You lit, baby. Your skin is cute. Right? You getting them cute little cellulite treatments I be seeing on Instagram, right? Your wig is cute. If you don't have a wig, your roots aren't gray. I mean, if they are, baby, that's up to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm making myself laugh. Okay, I'm talking to the women that are very secure in who they are. And you have this thing over your head where you want to be even the more successful. You want to thrive. But you also realize how your success has caused all of your circles to change. Can I encourage you in this episode to know that it's okay to be the trigger for other people? That does not mean that you retreat in doing what you do. That does not mean that you stop being the best dressed thing ever. That does not mean that you stop reading and being intelligent. That does not mean that you stop posting pictures of your perfect family, okay? That does not mean that you turn in your luxury vehicle for a Pinto. No. You have to be okay with triggering people, because these people, the people that are triggered by you, have to learn how to be inspired by you and not envious at the same time. That's something God is going to work out in them. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Yes, you're being used by the Lord, but don't get sucked into somebody else's crap. I hope you heard me there. Now, there are a lot of ways to avoid being triggered. Why am I saying that? When you are a trigger to other women, you're triggered at the fact that they're triggered by you. Have you ever walked in a room and knew immediately it was haterade? I mean, where's Mary J? There is all the hateration, holleration in the dancery. And you were like, look, I don't know why y'all being funny. And you go down the list of why you should be on the same playing field with them. I don't know why y'all looking at me funny. My wig was only $15. These nails are press on. I got my dress from Ross for $5.99. You're over here thinking I'm glamorous and I'm on a budget. What just happened? You decrease your own self-worth because you're triggered at the trauma of what it looks like to be successful when amongst other people who are less successful than you or that deem you to be successful, and they're envious of you because of the label that they put upon you. You can be triggered at the fact that you trigger other people. I have seen this my entire life. I prefer when it happens to other people and not when it happens to me. But I can talk about myself because none of y'all have no heaven or hell to put me in. I have literally walked in rooms and in conversations, and I've witnessed people who were supposed to be my friends literally overtalk me because I trigger them in the moment. Even this year, I've literally had to do some shifting in friendships because what I'm not going to do is apologize for where the Lord has brought me from and where I'm going. I'm not going to keep explaining it. I don't want to tell you what I'm up to. I don't want to have all those questions. I'm busy. Somebody say booked and busy. Hey, okay. I felt like I should do that in my Migos voice, right? And because my mindset has shifted, I love going out to eat. Okay? I feel like I'm Real Housewives of the 757. Real talk, right? But at the same time, I'm fueled by purpose. I'm fueled by destiny. I'm fueled by the hand of God on my life. And I literally want to be surrounded by women who have the same energy, the same match, the same drive. And I've surrounded myself with these women, even if it's virtually, because everybody doesn't live where I live. But it is triggering to be around other people who, it's not that they don't want to celebrate you. It's that their inspiration always turns to envy and competition. You never want to be the hottest thing in your group. You always need to aspire. And if you're the best looking thing in your group, you need to find a new group. But that's a whole other conversation. But that is a part of triggering. But I mention that because some of you are experiencing shame and guilt from what you're experiencing shame and guilt because you're successful and you feel bad that they can't come with you, or you feel bad that you have more than they do. Get over that. You were not responsible for anybody's glow up. Let's be clear. If you were responsible for your own glow up, you would fail. If it had not been for God and the grace that he bestowed upon you, the way he's forgiven you, the way he's protected you, the way he's accelerated you, you would not be here. All glory, all honor goes to God. Don't you dare start discounting the ways that God has made for you by discounting what you have on, your hair, your words of inspiration, how you walk. Maybe it's your salary. Maybe it's your top producing agent. Maybe you're the best at what you do on Instagram. Maybe you're the best at what you do in your job. Maybe you are the professor. Maybe you are the businesswoman. Maybe you're the philanthropist. Maybe you're the worship leader and you're known for that. You better start walking in everything God said that belonged to you. It's disrespectful to God to keep demeaning yourself when God has called you to shine, when God has called you to a place of opulence. Don't allow the people, the crowd, the Pharisees, the Sadducees make you demean the light that God has placed on the inside of you. You are supposed to shine. And guess what? When you shine, it really lets the neighboring people see who's in darkness. That ain't got nothing to do with you. You are not a savior. Turn my mic up. Turn me up in your car. You're not a savior, baby. Your role is to be a daughter. And I want to encourage you to just be a daughter. Stop trying to save everybody. That's not your role. Stop trying to be everybody's therapist. You can't be everybody's bank teller. You can't be everybody's auntie. You can't be everybody's niece. You can't be everybody's best friend. Seasons change. Stop crying and change your clothes. Level up and do what you need to do. I have grown irritated with watching women settle for less because they carry guilt for being successful. I was having a really good conversation with a friend of mine about the struggles that pretty women go through. Yes, I said it. Pretty women go through struggles that no one wants to talk about. I've heard, I was almost going to say something. Lord, thank you for catching my mouth. Oh, thank you. I've heard immature grown people say things like, oh, I know this person is beautiful or known for their beauty, but I want you to also see their intelligence too. Don't be blinded by their beauty or the little shady remarks. Oh, you look cute. Oh, let me tell you something. We've all got to do a better job of canceling word curses and addressing shade in the moment and cutting it. It's not about being nasty. It's about making sure people know how to respect you. And if they cross the boundary, then you know what you need to do next. You remove yourself. You don't get to keep disrespecting me and stay close to me. That's not how that works. I'm so tired of women who claim to be leaders of women, yet at the forefront of their business, their ministries, their conversation, it's all competition. How many hours do you have a day to be worried about what somebody else got on or what they doing or how this compares to this or how that compares to that? Get you some business outside of minding somebody else's business. Unless you're a blogger, because they get paid good money for that. But unless you're getting paid for it, you're wasting your time. But sis, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, the high achieving woman, the woman who knows for real that you got that one friend that's envious. You don't like to talk about it. You try to downplay it. I'm talking to you that knows your mom may be envious of you. I'm talking to you that knows your aunt and your aunt's best friend got an issue with you because you made it out. I'm talking to you. And I'm telling you, it's okay to be successful. I'm even giving you permission to be even more extra than you already are. If you didn't want to buy the car because you were concerned about how they would look at you, go buy it. If you were second guessing buying that Balenciaga bag because they already said something about the last bag you bought, go buy it. Stop limiting your life because you carry guilt of being the trigger to other people. Now, I read a really interesting article that listed like 8 or 9 reasons to why people are jealous of their friends. And y'all know how I feel about this. If you've been listening to my podcast at any given time, I don't have envy people. I don't give them a whole biological makeup, huh? I don't allow envious people around me. If you show me a teaspoon of envy, you got to go, okay? I'm not going to fry you. I'm not going to fillet you. I'm going to dismiss you because I don't want to be taken to a place where I got to show you how alive my flesh can get. Because I know Michelle Obama says that when you go low, we go high. Some of y'all, listen, some of y'all need to put yourself in positions to where you have to flip out because instead of going higher or going lower, you're going to go out of town. I'm not going to go lower. I'm going around the street. Okay? Don't do that. Don't even put yourself in the predicament. Don't put yourself in a place where you've got to check a person that's triggered by you because you already know they're triggered by you. Why are you still having conversations with them that you know is going to further trigger them? That means you've outgrown them. That means you need to find new friends on your level. Invite them to your baby shower, but don't invite them to your closing on your house because you already know what that's going to do. Stop acting like God hasn't already shown you these things. I was going to wait towards the end of the podcast to go here, but some of you are walking in this guilt and shame because you won't listen to the Lord. He told you years ago your cousin was jealous, but it's just now manifesting because you're at the peak of your career. Do you know what brings out deadly, I want to kill you envy in people? Is when the high achieving pretty women land the husbands. Or when the girl who everybody underestimated glows up and gets the family that the triggered women always wanted. Do you know that people can be triggered at the fact that you're happy? It's not that they don't want you to be happy. It's that your happiness makes them feel like, now I don't have an advantage over you. I know I'm talking good. You cannot be friends with people that want an advantage over you. It's always going to manifest in envy, and all envy leads to murder. That's why I talk so heavily about healing and inner healing, and deliverance, because people manifest devils. You hear me? Lucifer himself, when their ego is shattered. And I'm talking to you on here because I know everybody I'm talking to on this podcast ain't a high achieving woman. You the person I'm talking about that's triggered by everybody else's success. When your ego is shattered, you can manifest Beelzebub. Okay? Because your worth is not found in what Jesus says about you. For some reason, your worth was found in being number one in the class. Your worth was found in being the only person with brown hair. Maybe your worth was found in being the person that could, quote unquote, rock a red shirt on Valentine's Day. Maybe your worth was being the one that could sing soprano on the church choir. Don't get me started with these people that's trying to fight over positions in church like it's yours. Baby, the Lord gave you that voice, and you fighting over voices not yours because you don't want somebody else to give God glory. That just sounds stupid to me. Anyway, ladies, we have all got to do better with making sure that the foundation of who we are is rooted in God and not what we did or not what we feel like we did on our own. There's nothing wrong with feeling cute. Ain't nothing wrong with a man telling you, oh, honey, you fine. Now, don't be married now and have other men telling you fine and you winking and doing all that stuff. You better, okay? Let me tell you something. Don't be falling in lust. Because let me tell you right now, when I get married, y'all smile at my husband. Y'all going to see Xena Warrior Princess come out. Because my husband not going to be attracted to women. He's going to be attracted to D, okay? You know when you fill out those little forms interested in women, men, draw a box and put D beside it. Okay? I'm not trying to be funny. But I am being funny, but I meant that thing about the warrior princess because don't blame me. Nevertheless, there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel beautiful, be seen. I have a podcast on belonging. Definitely go check that out. That answers a lot of questions. Something wrong with that. But when it drives everything that you do, that's a problem. Let me tell you what I love to watch low-key. This is a guilty pleasure of mine. I love seeing people who think they should be on top because they're cute fall because the underdog, like God anoints the underdog to just rise to a place of power. I call it the David syndrome. Like you have this promising person. Like for instance, let me think about something more practical. I can give you an example. Oh, I got an example. You know that one girl in high school that just thought she was cute, that got all the men. Everybody wanted to date her, had all the boyfriends, was all popular, blah, blah, blah. Look at her now. Toes not done. Edges gone. Teeth gone. I'm like, how you got veneers? Let me ask y'all something. Somebody write this to me. Do they take your teeth out to put them veneers in? Like, please tell me that's not what happened. You mean tell me you're 30-something years old and you let them take your teeth out of your mouth? Please. I'm not doing that. What? Woo. Anyway. Have you seen what happened to the stereotypical good girl that was supposed to make it because she was cute or because she came from good money and because she was, could flirt with teachers and blah, 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 dated the quarterback? At my class reunion, I seen them girls. They were unrecognizable. I said, baby, you went from Miss Congeniality to Precious in 10 years. Okay? Why am I saying this? Y'all better stop hanging y'all life up in these compliments of people. Oh, I know you're going to make it because you're cute. No, I'm going to make it because God is with me. I'm going to make it because I have determination. I believe in working hard. I strive for excellence. I love the Lord. He has anointed me. I heard what he told me. I abide by every word of the Lord. The prophecy said this and that. I'm going to walk. That's what you have to base your life in. Not the murmurs of the people. The same people that cried Hosanna cried crucify him. Ladies, high achieving women, the reason why some of these girls are triggered by you is because it wasn't supposed to be you. It was supposed to be them. They got the cute husband, right? Well, they had the cute boyfriend in high school. They was the one that was small. Don't get me started on how fat shaming crosses over all of these lines. Because don't be a big girl and cute and intelligent. Skinny women that are insecure act like they're about to be Exorcism of Emily Rose Part 3. Jesus Christ. Because they don't think that you deserve to be where you are. They think they should be in your seat. No, baby. For this seat, this is reserved. What happened when you were in school? When they did reserved seating? What is that called when you were in school and the teacher put your name on the desk and you had to sit there instead of where you wanted to sit? You know what I'm talking about. Reserved seating. It's another word, another phrase I'm looking for. But in kingdom, the Lord already has your name written on wherever you're supposed to be. What's for you is for you. And no one can take that away from you. Assigned seating. That's what I'm saying. There's assigned seating in the kingdom. You can't try to sabotage me enough for God to change my seat. I almost took off running. That's the deception that's happening with these triggered people. I'm talking to you ladies. They are deceived into thinking that if they hate you enough, if they shade you enough, if they give you enough backhanded compliments, that somehow it will knock you out of the assigned seat that God placed you in. The only way you'll be knocked out of a seat that God predestined for your life is if you get up. And you're like, well, D, why would I get up from my assigned seat? When you're full of guilt and shame about the fact that you are a trigger to triggered women. I'm going to bring it on in here. I feel like I'm preaching. You are not responsible for anyone else's pain. I know I'm talking to triggered women on here. I know I'm tearing up all y'all senses. Let me go ahead and talk to you right now. There's not one woman in this world that's responsible for your pain. If you've been hurt, abused, traumatized by women, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. I recognize that stuff must have been difficult. But you don't have the right to project your pain onto another woman because you still hurt. Also, you do not have authority to knock anybody out of their seat of prominence or opulence. Lastly, I'm talking to the triggered women now. You need to be delivered, not just healed, delivered. You need to do some soul searching. I ended a full friendship with quite a few people because the envy just became too much. I don't want to keep having to look over my shoulder because you triggered at the fact that somebody said, hey, D. These people be triggered by stupid stuff. You twinkle your nose. Oh, my God, I'm just so upset. Do you like being possessed? Do you like being in that state of mind? Like, I don't think I could walk around that tormented every day. But this is the reality of some women. Triggered women, the envious, the jealous people. I know half of y'all don't believe y'all jealous. You make excuses. You don't believe you're envious. You make excuses. I'm not envious. I have my own stuff. But all you do is rehearse what somebody else doing in your mind and think about how you can do it better. Envy. That's not inspiration. Envy. What's that phrase? Anything you can do, I can do better. Lies. Lies and deceit. Anyway. Ladies, I want you to take a deep breath. All the ladies. All the triggered ladies. All the triggered ladies. I'm joking. Every woman listening, I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to do it again. And I want you to inhale your rightful place. I feel the presence of God already. I want you to inhale the seat you're supposed to sit in. Inhale the prophecies of God. The things he said over you, that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. The prophecy that you would be a mother, that you would be a business owner, that you would have this, that you would have that you would overcome generational curses. I want you to literally breathe that into your being. And I want you to exhale every excuse the devil's tried to implant in your mind as to why you won't have it. That don't belong to you. In the last few moments, I want to give you 4 reasons or 4 points that relate to our episode topic today. What happens when you're a trigger? Number 1, you build up your self-esteem. Because if you don't know who you are, don't let these trigger people tell you. I wasted a lot of moments in my life being less than who I was. Because I knew the totality of who I was would overshadow certain people. And I didn't want them to feel bad. I wanted to take them with me. Family, friends, the gifted people. Y'all know how this goes. Build up your self-esteem. The enemy will come with word curses and shade. Which brings me to point number 2. What happens when when you are the trigger? Remember to address word curses spiritually, like in prayer, but also address them when appropriate in conversations. One time I felt it for a friend of mine. We were having a conversation with someone I didn't even know. The girl walked up to my friend and said, "Oh, you cute today." It was the today for me. And I looked at my friend like, fry her, broil. Take her off 350 and fry her, right? And my friend so graciously looked at her and said, "No, I'm cute every day. But thank you for acknowledging that." And moved on. I said, "That's right. That's that coaching I be telling you about." The woman looked bewildered because she wasn't expecting a response to her shade. Why am I telling you to address this stuff? Because you have to teach people how to respect you. Some people don't know better. Some people have been called hussies and bitchs and stuff by their mama their whole life. They don't know how to respect a woman. They've never been respected. But when it comes to you, you can demand it because you're a queen. Number 3, what happens when you're the trigger? Don't ignore your discernment. The Lord speaks to you. Don't ignore him. Number 4, remember the point of it all is God. At the end of the day, heaven and earth are going to pass away. Riches are going to pass away. Your job's going to pass away. All this stuff is temporal. But what we're doing is for a home, or for a building not made by man's hands. This is for his glory. Everything is for his glory. Don't forget why you're here. It's not just to be cute and take dominion. It's to give God glory. I want to thank you for listening to this episode today. Blueprint Group Coaching starts October the 12th. I'm opening up registration in this exact moment. As you hear my voice, registration is open. Go on the devansgroup.com. Register, okay? It's very affordable. I got guest speakers coming. We're going to walk through what dominion looks like from all aspects, because we're taking territory, not just to have nice houses and cars, because we're going to have that anyway, but we're setting the standard for what kingdom looks like. And I can't wait to do that with you. Lastly, I know I said lastly so many times. I want to thank y'all for every birthday shout out. My birthday was September the 9th. Woody woo! Thank you. Thank you. Send me a little birthday. Hey, how you doing? At my email, contact@DEvans all month. It's a celebration every time we link up. Okay? Anyway, thank you and have a great rest of your day. Until the next episode.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Hey Sis podcast. Check out www.thedevans.com for more blogs and motivation.